Today we have a short live and we're starting in 2 minutes and we're going to be looking for parallel lines. We're going to discover the word parallel. I'm going to look everywhere for parallel lines. So just to prepare, one thing you're going to need is a toilet roll, an empty toilet roll, and a ruler. This is the older learners or the grown-ups to do this with the younger learner. And we're going to look at and find parallel lines and learn the word parallel. And I'm just going to finish sharing. Got 2 minutes left to do all my sharing, which is while you go and see if you can find some things that might have parallel lines. Let's see if you can go and find a few things that have parallel lines. And what have we got? We've got share. Okay, we can share that now. Share to a page. I'm sharing it on the Bubbly Maths page. So it's not, you can't just click a button. You have to click lots of buttons, lots and lots of buttons. Find parallel lines. Find parallel lines with early years. Early years. Okay, learners. And post that. Okay, that's going on the Bubbly Maths page. I've got 1 minute to go to get this now. Doing a, if I can, I keep changing it. Start a watch party. There we go. Start a watch party. Now I've got to remember, share on the timeline, finding parallel lines. Finding parallel lines with early years. With early years learners. There we go. And start the watch party. And it's 10 o'clock. Welcome. This is a nice short live where we're just going to find some parallel lines and do one little activity. The activity requires a roll of toilet paper. It requires a ruler, and it requires some colouring pens and some scissors. So if you can get those together, whoopsie. In the meantime, we're going to find some parallel lines. Now, parallel lines are two lines like, have you ever seen a railway track where the train's wheels are always, so this is a railway track, the train's wheels are always the same distance apart. So those lines have to go to always be the same distance apart. And that is a parallel line. So where else can we find a parallel line? Well, we've got them on this ruler. We've got those two. We can look at these two together, those two together. These are all parallel to each other. And even if we turn it the other way, that line and that line, they're parallel to each other. So they can go on forever and ever 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 and never meet. Now, let's find some other parallel lines. Well, right here on my box, my packet, got parallel. These two are parallel lines. They never meet. These two, that one there and that one there, they're parallel lines. They'd never meet. And even if you drew the outline of the pens, actually, let's do that. Let's just do that. I'm going to draw the outline of those pens and see if they make parallel lines. Well, maybe not these pens. I'll use these ones. There you go. Use that pencil there. Draw the outline of it. Kaboom, kapow, and hey presto. We've got two lines that go on and on and on and on forever and ever and ever, and they never meet. Right, now, where else can we find them? Look, found them on my phone. I've got parallel lines on my phone. Hi, Lyndon. Hi, James. Have you got any wisdom, Lyndon? I appreciate it. Your wisdom is very valuable. Where's the image that you can see? Make sure you can see what I can see. We've got the phone itself. We've got the parallel lines on either side and then the top and bottom. Whoopsie, like so. On my computer, we've got parallel lines on my computer. If we do a straight line across there on the parallel lines on either side of my space bar, on either side of my, and then on my touchpad as well, and on the computer screen itself, we've got the parallel lines there and there. We've got lots of parallel lines. Now, where else can we find them? Let's help maybe to find the ones where they're, well, here's one more parallel line here. Piece of paper. Those two, they are parallel. They are opposite each other, they stay at the same distance and they never meet. Parallel lines, we've got parallel lines here, there and there, they're parallel lines, and even on the edge of the book, parallel lines there. Now, what about this chair? Let's see if I brought these things over. Let's see if I make sure the camera stays in place while I do this. I've got this very old, needs some attention little table, but let's see, we've got these two lines here. They're parallel because they're straight lines and they're the same distance apart, and they would, if we could continue that line forever and ever and ever, ever and ever and ever, and they would never meet. What about these lines here? They're curved. They're the same as each other, but would they ever meet? If we continued that curve and we continued that curve, would they ever meet? They might just meet around there. Okay, now what about this chair here? That's curved, so that's kind of obvious, it's not a parallel line. But what about this chair? This chair over here. So these, the front of the chair and the back of the chair, they are straight lines. And let's see if they would ever meet. We'll just think about that. What about these ones here? They're straight lines as well. But if we continue going back, because you see how it's wider at the front than it is at the back. So if we continue going back with these two lines and kept going to the back of the room, do you think those two lines would eventually meet if we drew a big picture? Let's just draw a little scale model of it. I'm going to draw a little scale model of our chair now. Let's see. You can draw that as well. You can draw two lines and see if you make them longer if they'll ever meet. So let's have a look. And then we're going to do our toilet roll, and then that'll be it for today. And I want you to notice, whoopsie, parallel lines wherever you go. See if you can find parallel lines. So we're going to use this piece of paper here. Go plonk, have a look at it. So we're going to copy the chair. So the front and back of the chair, I'm going to use my parallel lines on my ruler so I know that the front and back of the chair, they're parallel. So I'm going to take it from there to there. Now, the edges of the chair, let's just look at it under the ruler for a moment in a second. The edges of the chair, if I see how, if I put those two together, that and that are straight and parallel to each other. But if I now put that edge there, that starts wider and it gets narrower. And now if I continue that line, and I continue this line, look what happens at the end there. Look at those lines, they eventually meet. And then not only would they meet, but they keep going and they separate again. So they keep going further and further and further away from each other. So they're not parallel lines. These two, we've got a special way of showing it as well. We go boing, 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 boing. That means that they're parallel lines, and these are not. They're not the same as each other. So now, having said that, that's for slightly older learners. If you're only little, I just want you to look for parallel lines. Look and see if we can find them wherever you go. Look on stairs, look on when you're out on the bus, look when you're in the car, look when you're going for a walk. Now, I'm going to do this thing with the toilet paper, as we do. It's our toilet paper challenge. In fact, tonight we will announce our toilet paper challenge to make a cube, but this one is not to make a cube. This one we're making parallel lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to squish it down. We're going to draw parallel lines from the top to the bottom with one colour. We'll get one from here. What colour should we do? We're going to start with a light colour. We don't start with red. No, red's going to go around the other way. Well, let's start with that. Actually, I'm going to start with this diagonal line because I don't want to get my red all dirty. I'm going to start with this diagonal line here. That's called diagonal because it doesn't go up and down. It doesn't go across, it goes diagonally. And if you start playing chess, which is a great game to really get some really good thinking skills, you learn about the pieces that move diagonally and the pieces that move along the, I don't know what we call it in chess when we call it, that's not the diagonals, just forward, front and back and left and right. And then there's the diagonals that go across. So these are the diagonal lines. Now we're going to draw some just up and down lines. Some plain up and down lines here. So what I'm going to do is I say I'm going to squish it down. I'm going to use my ruler to get some nice parallel up and down lines on either side of my ruler. And what I want you to do is I want you to be thinking about what it's going to look like when we're going to cut this toilet roll open so that it's no longer, now I'm going to join halfway between those, more lines going, so that it's no longer a cylinder. We're going to cut it open. We want to see what the shape looks like and what all these shapes look like when we've cut open our cylinder. You know that one, don't you? That's a cylinder. Well, it's a hollow cylinder, but it's a circle top and it's a circle at the bottom. What happens when we cut it open? We've got one more to do. One more to do, get another colour. What colour should we get? Let's get blue. Okay, no, wrong. Let's get this one, nice thick line here. Okay, now it's a little bit harder to do because now what we're going to do is we're going to draw lines going all the way round. So we're going to have to rotate it, but somehow keep that line going straight and parallel to the top and bottom. Not so easy to do. If we squish it down now, draw it across. Squish that one down, draw it across. And then maybe extend it this way. There we go. And squish that one down, draw it across. It's not so easy to do. You definitely might need some help with this. So the older learners can be doing this, or the grown-ups, and then the younger learners can be thinking, what's going to happen? Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut along that red line. What's it all going to look like? What is going to happen? I've got to join those manually. It's quite difficult, this one. Is that one going to be nice with, yeah, that might work. That's about there. We're going to do it there. There. Okay. So one there. One there. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. One there. One there. More or less. They're not exactly straight lines. Hopefully you get the idea. And then it's all wobbly and wibbly and wobbly. And then join those together. So we've got that there and that there. And now we're going to cut it open. So what is it going to look like? This is the big thing. This is the grand finale. What is it going to look like? If you enjoy these lives, please do share them with your friends. Please do get grown-ups to share them on their profile. They're making maths fun for kids of all ages. The link is on the page above in the announcements. Let's see, we're drawing along the diagonal. We get along the diagonal, what is this shape going to look like and what's going to happen to all those parallel lines? Lift this up a little bit so you can see a bit more. And further back, lift it up some more. There we go. Oh my goodness, such suspense is killing me. I do it diagonally along. Can you see it all? Lift it up some more. This is a much larger piece of, lift it up some more, bring that forward, lift it up some more. Can you see it all? Move it further back. Can you see it all? Make it diagonal so you can see it across the page. Ah, we've got it. We have it. There, that's it. Ah, look what's happened. We've got this amazing shape that's got a parallel line at the top and bottom, and the diagonal was opened up. When we cut it off, it's become two parallel lines as well. And this is called a big fancy word. It's called a parallelogram. It's a shape with 4 edges, 2D shape with 4 edges that has these 2 edges are parallel to each other, and these 2 edges are parallel to each other. So if you find any parallelograms, then that's what you want to call them. Look, it's a parallelogram. There you go. That's it for today. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow morning won't be live. I'll be doing them basically live at 9:30, and then doing a watch party at 10, because I've got a very wonderful game that I play. I like to learn all the time, every day, and I play this game that helps me learn every week. And tomorrow morning it just happens to be at 10 o'clock, so I should be recording the live at 9:30 and then doing a watch party at 10. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. I've got to stop the light. Oh, let me see if anybody's on. Oh, hello, Dawn. Long time no see. So we just had a few people Friday morning, and let's end that. Lost it now. There we go.